In a world where even the smallest disagreements can lead to arguments, violence, and even death, two brothers tackle the difficult subjects. This podcast is not just about dissecting topics from two different perspectives. It's also about how to have conversations on difficult topics while avoiding the urge to tear someone's head off and vomit down the bloody stump of their neck.
All right, Colin, I ran across a little bit of information a couple of days ago, and I thought it would be interesting just to have just a short little back and forth about it, see if you have any interesting insight or perspective on it. And it was listening to a podcast called Rumble Strip, and I guess it deals primarily with life in Vermont. And I didn't know that things in Vermont were so interesting it could get its own podcast, but as you know, they'll make a podcast about anything these days. Even my brother's arguing.
People will find it about anything.
Yeah. So anyway, in Vermont, they have a state holiday called the Town Meeting Day. And most of the towns will get together, the communities, the people in the towns will get together, and they'll go over all of the business for that town for the year. Things like, if they have trouble with garbage, if, the budgets and dealing with libraries, everything. And one of the little passing comments or short little conversations about this holiday is that the conversations that occur are very civil. That and the speculation is that because these are neighbors, these are people that every other day of the year you're going to see these people and you're going to interact with them. You're going to see them in the grocery store, in line when you go to get your mail, and so there's a real incentive to make sure that when the meeting is over, that maybe you disagreed on certain points of policy, but there was never any personal attacks or no one ever felt defensive during those conversations. And it was interesting to me how different that is, not just in politics in general in this country, but what a contrast it is to what's happening on things like social media. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, I definitely agree. I would say too that, all of social media and then reviews online, on the one hand, it's really nice. I was talking with somebody the other day. It's amazing now when you go to buy something and you don't buy it on Amazon or eBay and they don't have reviews. It's so frightening. Because you get this chance, if it's Amazon, it's not always 100% accurate, but you feel like you have a pretty good, at least you have some indication that other people liked it, and you're trying to sift through, the naysayers, the people, there's always some bad reviews and people that you're thinking, you just didn't know how to put it together right, you probably didn't spend enough time on it, or some people are just always negative. But man, if you get an 80, 90% 5-star, at 90, 95%, 4 and 5 star, then you feel pretty good about a product. And so I'm so used to it. But then on the other hand, when people put reviews of stuff, it's amazing how people feel so free because it's so removed from seeing the people face to face. They're just so willing to put something very, very negative. So face to face, I think we're losing something there.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that, but you're right. When I'm reviewing a business that I'm going to visit once and will likely never visit again in my life, I think I'm a little more casual about the things that I post. Whereas when I'm posting about a local business, I am a little more careful about how I post, because you're right, it is possible that I could see the people, or maybe even that I know the people. I want to be a little more compassionate in that regard.
I would say that some people, I would imagine there's times when, instead of even going in and saying, hey, can I speak with the owner for a minute and see if we can resolve something here? It's pretty easy just to post. And some of the stuff you see, I saw a review about a business that one of the other customers had done something rude to them, and they put this 2-star review on the business. And you're thinking, what is that guy? How did that owner, he or she, how were they supposed to control what the customers do? But people feel very willing to be negative in that way, because if they were talking face to face, they might give them the benefit of the doubt, or say, hey, listen, I know there's not much you can do about this, but it's just so easy to quickly write off a quick review with these negative comments, not thinking about what it can do to affect that person's well-being and their livelihood. So yeah, I love the idea of getting together and doing stuff face to face and saying, hey, we're going to have to deal with each other throughout the year. And it kind of helps people to behave in a way that's probably more responsible because they realize they're going to have to confront those people later.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, it was insightful. Anyway, that's it.
We hope you learned something in this episode of Brother versus Brother, a podcast about difficult conversations. We also hope that you enjoyed it enough to subscribe to the podcast. You can help us by spreading the word. Share this episode on your favorite social media so that others will have an opportunity to experience it as well. You can also support us by donating through Patreon. This information and more can be found on our website, broconvo.com, and on our various social media accounts. Thank you.